What's going on YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And this video, we're going to be talking about Night Terrors Green Lantern issue number 1. We have the main storyline written by Jeremy Adams and several artists working on that one. Then we have another writer working on the backup story, which is a Sinestro focused one. So let's go ahead and talk about these two ones. By the way, I love this cover art right here. Like, this is probably one of my favorite covers in the entire Night Terrors event. I think the green and the skull and the ring and everything just kind of culminates pretty well in a pretty for the most part, a pretty entertaining issue. I know you kind of get the gist of all these things. I mean, a mysterious and deadly new villain named Insomnia has struck. The entire world has been forced into eternal slumber, including all the heroes and villains, as Insomnia searches their dreams for the Nightmare Stone. Can the heroes survive being trapped within their darkest fears? So you do this one, and then you put basically the man who doesn't really have fear, which is Hal Jordan. I mean, he has the ultimate willpower, and in a way, it kind of creates one of the most entertaining issues in all of Night Terrors, because unlike most people, Hal has legit, like, no fear for a lot of this stuff. He's already kind of overcome this thing. In fact, he takes kind of some sick pleasure in tormenting his nightmarish, like, villain, if you so, I guess Insomnia in this case. Like, he is taking some sick enjoyment, in fact, to the point where the villain is like running in fear throughout the issue. Like, oh, like it almost becomes I guess this is supposed to be Insomnia, this Insomnia's nightmare, if you will, and Hal is just kind of having a lot of fun, just kind of tormenting and just constantly going through, like, all right, where are you at? And it's like, it kind of like the roles kind of reversed a little bit, and I think that's kind of one of the things that made it stand out a little bit, made it a little bit more exciting. There's some glorious looking artwork right here, and you get to see Hal kind of at his most fun, and it says this is gonna kind of pick up again. I mean, Green Lanterns next month, as well as Night Terrors Night's End. You're gonna be seeing that a lot, because we're gonna have Night Terrors 4 and then Night Terrors Night's End, where a lot of these other various plot threads, I mean, the characters will be like, they're gonna show up and briefly do, I guess, something in the next issue of Night Terror. So it's gonna be something kind of small, a little bit brief, but that's kind of the main gist of this particular story. And then going into the backup thing, which is written by Alex Segura, and again, artwork in both the main storyline and the backup story, I think, is quite good. Basically, this is just some insight into Sinestro. So, like, you kind of understand some of his fears, his insecurities. You get to see his daughter at one point make an appearance, and really kind of by the end of it, it doesn't say anything about continuing in the next issue of, like, Night Terrors or anything like that. In fact, this one you probably could have just omitted entirely. I feel like the Hal Jordan one, you should have just kept that. The Sinestro one, it's like, okay, where's this going to continue in? He kind of has this smirk. He's like, I'm not afraid anymore. I kind of know who I am right now, but nothing having to do with Insomnia or anything like that altogether. No looking for the Nightmare Stone. In fact, the Nightmare Stone wasn't in anyone's dreams. It was in this place known as the Hollow, as we came to find out in Night Terrors issue number 3, which, I mean, if is it really the 3rd issue? I don't know why they number it that and they call it First Blood and all that. I don't know. It is whatever. It is what it is. It's kind of whatever, but I really like the main Hal Jordan stuff, mostly because it kind of took the flip of it all. Like, Hal almost became the tormentor, and this thing just having a little bit too much fun with it all. So, like, none of this stuff's going to scare him. So I think that added a nice little bit of a twist with it all. Is it really necessary for the entire Night Terrors event? No, but it is kind of fun to see where Hal Jordan plays into this whole storyline, if you will, of him kind of taking some sick pleasure in tormenting his tormentor. So that, to me, made it a little bit more fun and a little bit more entertaining. And of course, some glorious looking artwork, some interesting looking constructs that they get to showcase in here. So I think this is a fun Green Lantern issue overall. And it's kind of with these other spinoffs, as we know now, with the Nightmare Stone being in, like, the Hollow and not necessarily the waking world or the dream world. A lot of these other side stories you could probably skip altogether. I mean, they don't really add much overall to the main Night Terror storyline. But if you're looking for something that just kind of Hal Jordan, and you get to see a little bit of fun with that, and plus you get the added bonus of Sinestro backup, whether you're into that or not, I think this one wasn't half bad. Doesn't really do much to further the Night Terror storyline, in my opinion. But it is kind of funny to see what Hal does in this situation. So I like that aspect of it. So I'm giving it the thumbs up for that regards. But yeah, anyways, if you have any thoughts on Night Terrors Green Lantern issue number 2, let me know what you thought of it in the comment section section down below. Be sure to hit the bell for notifications, like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, all that other fun stuff. This is going to be kind of a spree of rapid reviews, because with these other Night Terrors things, they're kind of the concluding things, and a lot of them are just going to say, hey, we're going to pick this thing back up in Night Terrors Night's End or whatever. So yeah, a lot of these Night Terror side stories you didn't really need, but hey, you know what? I'm covering the whole event, so let's talk about it. All right, well, that's all I have to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.